We are only just beginning, really, to understand the magnitude of the loss. Actor Cameron Matheson, he documented his gut-wrenching ride back to his neighborhood in Altadena.
Oh, oh God, oh God.
Cameron Matheson joins me now. Cameron, I can hear the distress. I cannot imagine what you've gone through to even feel that way as you're nearing your home. Can you take us back to what it was like to be back in your neighborhood? What were you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I've actually never heard those sort of sounds come out of me before, so it's very odd. It was just such a, it's kind of a guttural pain and disbelief and shock and fear as I was approaching my property and not seeing the house and but anyway, yes, it was early in the morning and I was asleep and I was woke up at 5 because they were covering. I saw on the news that they were covering. The reporters were on our block showing the houses around my neighborhood burning, and I recognize these houses. These are my neighbors, and I couldn't see from this camera angles whether my house was spared or whether it wasn't. And so I just couldn't take it anymore, pretty much. And I got in the car and weaved my way up into the neighborhood, and it was still obviously, as maybe you could see from that video, just houses were burning all around, and it was tons of smoke, and roads were closed. But I made it up.
Mm.
I made it up to my street, and then when it kind of came into our stretch of the houses, it was just totally decimated. Like there was many, as you saw in the video, houses and then fires and houses and fires. But our street, in particular, our block, I should say, was pretty much nothing left. It looked like, in many cases, there was no houses ever built there. It was just decimated to nothing.
As if it was never there. I mean, can you even process,
Yeah.
Cameron, the extent, the scope, the how quickly this all happened?
It really, and I realize that you've been talking to so many people that have been through this, and there's so many people out there that are going through it, and I'm like, I've never, you think you have compassion for these stories when you hear them on the news and you see them, and then you go through it, and you're like, oh, I had no idea. I had no idea. So I'm thinking about everybody out there, but no, you know, I couldn't, I couldn't believe it. It wasn't anything that was within my realm of reality, and um, in that I can't remember what what you asked me. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. No, what you are describing, what our hearts are asking you, frankly. And
Thank
we are
you.
just looking
Thanks.
right
I'm so
now
sorry.
at this side by side photos, if we can show it, showing your beautiful home, how it was before this tragic fire.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
after, as you talk about it, can you just tell me how long had you lived there and the kind of memories that you hold there?
Yeah, we've been in that house for 13 years, and I've got to tell you, like a lot of people at home, maybe we can relate to this. We put everything into that house. We loved that house. We fixed everything up, from inside the walls to the molding to the floors, the paint to the furniture to the light fix. We just constantly were tweaking, and we loved it and cherished that house. And our kids were raised there. And 4 days ago, my daughter said that she wanted to raise her kids in this house. Like it's that kind
Oh,
of a place to us. Obviously way before these fires happened, and it's just and I'm sure many people can relate. It's got so many memories, and we're so grateful for so much. We're so grateful that we can rebuild a lot of the things, and we're so grateful that we're all healthy, obviously. But there's just so much that you can't replace, and
mm,
you don't really feel that until you go through it. When you go through it, and then you start every 10 minutes. My son or my daughter or their mom has been like have just stopping and taking, like, catching their breath, being like, oh, I just remembered something else, you
oh my
know
God.
like Vanessa's baby pictures from when she was a kid, only on film, and our just childhood mementos and kids projects from when they were little, and our cards that we wrote to each other for decades, that we all saved, and ornaments that we had on our tree that we gathered from all around the world for the past decades. Anyway, I'm not trying to lay it on. I'm just saying these are the things that are tough. These are the things that you can't replace, and that's part of a disaster like this. And we know we're not the only one, and we really do think about others going through it for sure. So I know I'm kind of caught up in my own little bubble right now, but it's hard not to in this
No.
moment.
No, first of all, you don't need to be apologetic for feeling how you are and expressing. I think so many people, I know my mind certainly went when I think about the losses that people are experiencing. Obviously, it's first about everyone's physical safety, but then I think about that emotional connection to your home, to my tree is still up in my house, and thinking about what all the things mean to you. And I'm just so glad that you shared, because I think that's exactly what people think about. They think about the stories within those homes, and I appreciate you sharing it with us tonight.
Oh, well, yeah. Thanks for listening. I really appreciate it.
I'm glad you're safe, Cameron Matheson. Thank you.
The fires raging in Los Angeles are bringing movie and television production to a halt. According to The Hollywood Reporter, more than a dozen shows and movies that film in Los Angeles have paused production, including Grey's Anatomy and The Price is Right. The Critics' Choice Awards that were originally set to be held on Sunday, they have been postponed until the end of the month. And of course, so many people who work in the industry live there. CNN entertainment reporter Lisa France is with us now. This is just a body blow to so many people who live and work out there.
It absolutely is, John. Good morning. Part of the issue, too, is that people sometimes forget that celebrities are people as well, and fame and fortune is not saving them from the devastation. Joan Rivers' daughter, Melissa Rivers, actress Melissa Rivers, talked to our own Caitlin Collins about what she experienced. Let's take a listen.
I definitely have not gotten my head around it. I got some video sent to me that our house is totally gone. In my personal situation, that's it. That is the end of everything that belonged to my family and the history of it. So I honestly, to be 100% honest, I grabbed my mom's Emmy, a photo of my dad, and a drawing that my mother had done of me and my son and I can't even remember which is grammatically correct right now.
John, stars are actually using social media to connect with people. This Is Us star Mandy Moore shared some of the images that were coming out of her community in Altadena, and just complete and utter devastation. It's so hard to look at these scenes. And when you talk about horror, Paris Hilton actually posted on social media that she watched her house burn. She said she was heartbroken beyond words. Sitting with my family, watching the news and seeing our home in Malibu burn to the ground on live TV is something no one should ever have to experience. The devastation is unimaginable. To know so many are waking up today without the place they called home is truly heartbreaking. And likewise, John, Billy Crystal put up a really heartbreaking post as well, talking about what his home meant to him and his family, the home that they lost. He said, Janice, his wife, and I lived in our home since 1979. We raised our children and grandchildren here. I mean, just so much pain. Every inch of our house was filled with love, beautiful memories that can never be taken away. I mean, it's just unimaginable, John, what's happening to so many people. And we're getting a firsthand view of it because of celebrities and their long reach.
Well, hopefully they have those memories, Lisa France. Obviously, the fires, they don't care about class or job or anything. They're simply raging out of control.